My name is Machiavelli, not your priest, not your poet, and certainly not your moral guide. I do not offer virtue. I offer victory. In the chambers of power, where men smile with daggers hidden behind their backs, I speak the truths they dare not name. My words have been burned, banned, and twisted. I've been called devil, genius, cynic, prophet, but I am none of these. I am merely the mirror, and if the reflection disgusts you, look not at me, but at the world that shaped it. If you wish to be adored, go write lullabies for children. But if you seek power, true, unshakable, untouchable power, then lend me your mind. Today I will teach you the most misunderstood law of power. It is not love that secures a throne. It is fear. And if you are not feared, you are already falling. Chapter 1. Love is conditional. Fear is command. Love is a song sung by poets, not princes. The people may love you today for your generosity, your reforms, your charm, but love is rooted in expectation, and expectation is a noose. The moment you fail to provide, the moment the bread runs low or the gold dries up, that love evaporates like mist before the sun. Fear, however, does not beg. It demands. It is not concerned with affection. It deals in outcomes. Let us strip away illusion. The people do not obey because they love. They obey because they fear the cost of defiance. Love must be maintained. Fear must only be established. Would you rather be the shepherd, always feeding the flock, or the lion whose presence keeps them in the pen? I once wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved, if one must choose." But most rulers never make the choice. They try to be both. They fail at both and they perish. Ask yourself, do you want love or loyalty? Because the two do not walk hand in hand. Chapter 2. The seduction of mercy and the price of kindness. Mercy is seductive. Even the most cunning ruler is tempted by it. He says to himself, "If I forgive this traitor, I will be seen as noble. If I show leniency, I will inspire devotion." What he does not realize is that every act of mercy, every unpunished betrayal, is a message, a signal. And what it tells your enemies is this: you are unwilling to do what is necessary. Let me tell you a secret of statecraft. Kindness is a luxury, and luxury is for victors, not contenders. You do not buy loyalty with affection. You buy it with consequence. Julius Caesar forgave Brutus. Brutus thanked him with a knife to the chest. Mercy does not neutralize your enemies. It reminds them that you have not struck yet. Let your justice be swift. Let your hand be heavy. But above all, let your enemies never sleep soundly. For a ruler who forgives too often does not reign for long. Chapter 3. Cesare Borgia, the blueprint of fear. Let me give you a name. Cesare Borgia. You may call him villain. I call him blueprint. When I met Cesare, I saw not a man, but a masterclass in power. He conquered the Romagna region not through charm, not through diplomacy, but through calculated terror. He appointed a cruel lieutenant, Ramiro de Lorqua, to subdue the land. The people suffered under him, but they obeyed. Then, once order was restored, Borgia had Lorqua's body cut in half and placed in the town square. He blamed the cruelty on Lorqua. He took the credit for the punishment, and he kept the obedience. This, my pupil, is the art of power. You let the fear do its work, and then you remove its face and pretend to be the savior. Borgia understood the central truth. To rule through fear, one must never seem cruel, only decisive. That is not tyranny. That is craftsmanship, and those who learn from him may not be loved, but they will never be overthrown. Chapter 4. The psychology of obedience now. We turn to the true battlefield. Not swords, not armies, not ballots, but the mind. You must learn what frightens men, not in the flesh, but in the soul. Men obey when they feel predictable danger, not chaos, but consequence. If the penalty for disloyalty is death, swift, certain, and public, they will obey. If the penalty is uncertain, if you hesitate, if you consider mercy, they will test you. Power is not about rage, it is about reputation. You must cultivate an image. Let them say of you, he is fair, but he does not forgive betrayal. He is generous, but never crossed. He listens, but strikes without warning. This is how obedience is built, not through laws, not through loyalty, but through the carefully planted seed of dread, and when it blossoms, it becomes your most loyal servant. Chapter 5. The Myth of the Beloved Leader. There is a tragic myth whispered across history, the myth of the beloved. Leader Marcus Aurelius, Lincoln, Gandhi, they are celebrated as paragons of virtuous leadership. But look closer, what do they all have in common? They all died betrayed. Even Marcus Aurelius, philosopher-emperor beloved by the Senate, left behind a corrupt heir, Commodus, whose rule was a festival of horror. Why? Because virtue without vigilance breeds weakness. Love without fear breeds contempt. To be loved is to be dependent on the affection of others. To be feared is to be independent of it. The beloved ruler may write his name in history books, but the feared ruler writes the laws that govern the living. Would you rather be admired by poets or obeyed by armies? Choose wisely. Chapter 6. How to use fear without becoming hated now. Let me address your most human concern. Will I not be hated if I am feared? Here lies the subtlety, the true genius of rule. To wield fear is an art, a razor's edge. You must be feared strategically, not sadistically. Men do not resent punishment when they know it is earned. They resent humiliation, randomness, and greed. So never punish from anger. Never steal from the poor. Never harm without purpose. Instead, when you strike, make it surgical. Make it necessary. Make it clear. Crush rebellion before it grows teeth. Execute traitors in the public square with solemn dignity. And then show mercy to the innocent. Be generous to the loyal. Be just to the common man. This creates a paradox. They will fear your power and but love your order, and in that balance you find the kingdom that endures. Chapter 7. The Immortality of Fear. In the end, love fades, but fear endures. The people may forget your reforms. They may forget your speeches, your generosity, your kindness, but they will remember the day you burned the traitor alive. They will remember what happened to those who defied you, and that memory is immortality. Your legacy is not built by the praises of flatterers. It is built by the silence of dissent. Fear does not corrupt. It clarifies, it clears the rot, it cuts away the cancer, it preserves order. You want your enemies to ask themselves one question before acting. What will he do to me if I move against him? If that question keeps them still, you have already won. Be feared, not because you enjoy cruelty, but because the world obeys those they dare not cross. And when the chaos comes and the knives are drawn, it is not the beloved who survives, it is the feared. My gift is the truth. I do not speak these things to seduce you. I speak them because no one else will. The world praises weakness and punishes strength, but only in words. In action, it bows to those who rule with certainty. They burned my name, but they used my methods. They cursed my book, but they followed its every line. You will be tempted by love, by virtue, by praise. And when you are, remember this, power is not a dinner party. It is a battlefield, and in battle, it is better to be feared than loved. You may write this on your walls, etch it into your crown, or whisper it to yourself on the night before a war. To be feared is not to be hated. To be feared is to be safe. I am Niccolò Machiavelli, and I have given you the greatest weapon of all, clarity. Now use it.